Let's go Dolphins! The truth is boiling beneath the surface in Miami, and I've got something that every Dolphins fan needs to hear. It's not just rumors, it's real movement, real conversations happening behind closed doors as the team scrambles to fix one of the most overlooked but critical weaknesses on the roster, the tight end position. Now, I know some of you are thinking, didn't we just get Darren Waller? But what if I told you that Waller might not even make the final 53-man roster? What if I told you that the Dolphins already reached out to another NFL team trying to fix this mess? And what if I told you there's one name on the trade market that could change everything for this offense? This isn't speculation, this is what I'm hearing, and it's got major implications for how competitive this team will actually be when the regular season kicks off. The Super Bowl window is open right now, but Greer is playing a dangerous game, and one wrong move, or no move at all, could slam that window shut before we ever get through it. I'm going to break down every name being linked to Miami, what I know from inside sources, and the exact kind of move the Dolphins must make if they want to take the next step. But before we go further, hit that like button if you've been riding with this team through thick and thin. And if you're a true old school fan who remembers the Marino days, comment below. Go Dolphins! My heart bleeds aqua and orange. Let me show you exactly what's going on. Here's what's going down. Even after adding Darren Waller in a low-risk trade, the Dolphins' tight end unit still looks underwhelming, and that's putting it mildly. Jonnu Smith is gone, and while Waller brings name recognition, there's no real guarantee he even makes the final 53-man roster. The man was retired just last season. Let that sink in. He didn't play a snap in 2024. Betting on a comeback season at 31 years old after a year off is asking for trouble. Fans hoping to see flashes of the Pro Bowl version of Waller from 5 years ago are more likely to be disappointed than impressed. This is precisely why Miami must continue hunting for another tight end before training camp. CBS Sports recently dropped a list of 5 tight end trade targets that Miami could pursue, and there's a lot to unpack here. The Dolphins reportedly reached out to the Chicago Bears to inquire about Cole Kmet, a balanced tight end who has shown flashes of quality over the past couple of seasons. And yes, I've got sources, real ones, telling me the Dolphins made that call immediately after dealing Smith. Kmet isn't a flashy name, but he's reliable, can block, and contributes in the passing game. Unfortunately, the Bears shut it down fast. They aren't ready to let him go, especially not while rookie Carson Loveland is sidelined with an injury. Still, the fact that Greer even made the call is noteworthy. It confirms this front office knows the position needs help, even if their track record of fixing things is spotty at best. Next up on the radar, Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we're talking about a guy who's been a top-tier tight end in the league, no doubt, but he's 29, coming off a down year, and his playoff performance against Buffalo was forgettable to say the least. 2 critical drops, including one that could have tied the game with a 2-point conversion. Not what you want from your veteran anchor. Add in the emergence of Isaiah Likely in Baltimore, and Andrews could be on the move. But here's the catch. His contract could cost Miami somewhere in the ballpark of $10-15 million. That's a steep price for a guy who may already be on the decline. For a franchise that's looking to build sustainably, acquiring Andrews just doesn't make sense, especially when there are younger, cheaper, and potentially more effective options. That brings us to Chigoziem Okonkwo of the Tennessee Titans, and let me tell you, this one has real legs. Okonkwo is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and Tennessee just drafted Gunnar Helm, a move that could signal a shift in their tight end plans. Okonkwo isn't a superstar, but his blend of size, athleticism, and after-the-catch ability could be exactly what the Dolphins need in this scheme. He reminds many of Jonnu Smith, and we saw how effective Smith was under McDaniel last season. Plus, trading for Okonkwo wouldn't break the bank. Maybe a 4th or 5th round pick gets it done. Extend him early, and suddenly Miami has a legit TE option under control for years. If Greer wants to salvage any shred of credibility, this is the move to make. Then there's Michael Mayer from the Raiders. There's been buzz connecting him to Miami ever since he came out of Notre Dame. Internally, there's reported interest from the Dolphins side, and several Miami beat writers have confirmed that. But it's a tricky situation. While early reports suggested Vegas might be willing to trade Mayer, more recent news implies the Raiders want to keep him alongside rookie standout Brock Bowers. Still, it's worth keeping an eye on. Mayer didn't shine in year 2, missing 6 games and struggling to produce. But his physicality and red zone presence could give Miami another weapon in high-leverage situations. Just don't expect dynamic plays after the catch. Finally, Tyler Higbee from the Rams rounds out the list, and he's easily the least appealing option. At 32 years old, coming off injuries and declining performance, Higbee is a shadow of the player he was in the early 2020s. Sure, he might instantly become the best tight end on the current Dolphins roster, but that says more about the weakness of the group than Higbee's talent. Trading for him would be a low-cost, low reward move that feels more like a desperate last-minute patch than a serious step forward. So, Dolphins Nation, with training camp looming and question marks hanging over the tight end group like storm clouds over Hard Rock Stadium, what's the right move? Should Miami go all in on a young, promising player like Okonkwo? Should they roll the dice on Waller and hope he finds the fountain of youth? Or should Greer, for once, show some urgency and creativity in solidifying this critical position? Because here's where things start getting even more interesting. While names like Cole Kmet and Mark Andrews may grab headlines, the smart play, the calculated move that fits both Miami's scheme and financial outlook, is Chigoziem Okonkwo. It's not just about what he brings on paper, his youth, his speed, his ability to create yards after the catch. It's about the fact that Mike McDaniel has a proven track record of maximizing this type of player. Just look at what he squeezed out of Jonnu Smith. Okonkwo fits that same mold but with even more upside. And here's the real kicker. Okonkwo would walk into this Dolphins locker room and immediately be one of the top 2 options at tight end. Yes, even with Darren Waller on the roster. Because as much as we all hope Waller can return to form, hoping isn't a strategy you can take into the season when your Super Bowl window is cracked open but far from guaranteed. The question isn't if Waller can become a contributor again, it's if the Dolphins can afford to wait and find out. The stakes are too high, and the AFC is too loaded with talent to leave such a critical spot up to chance. So, why not go after Okonkwo now? If Chris Greer wants to finally do something right, and that's a big if, this is the type of move that gives the Dolphins a real shot at balance on offense. Give McDaniel a young, moldable tight end, and watch him turn that into consistent production. It's a low-risk, high-upside play that could yield exactly what this offense needs to complement Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the speed-heavy passing game. Okonkwo offers something different, something over the middle and in tight situations. He's not a home run threat, but he can keep drives alive, move the chains, and serve as a reliable red zone target. Meanwhile, the Michael Mayer angle lingers. There's clearly a fascination inside the Dolphins organization with this guy, and that interest didn't start overnight. They were reportedly eyeing him back during the draft, and there's still some belief that if Vegas cools on their keep Mayer and Bowers together plan, Miami could swoop in with an offer. That would probably cost a bit more in terms of draft capital, especially if the Raiders see value in keeping the young tandem intact. But if Miami truly believes Mayer still has untapped potential and can grow into the role, it's a gamble worth taking, just not at the same time as they're already gambling on Waller. But if we're talking straight-up red flags, look no further than Tyler Higbee. Acquiring him would feel like a Greer panic move, a last-ditch, bargain-bin attempt to patch a problem that needed fixing months ago. Sure, he might be better than what Miami has today, but that's not the point. The point is to build for a playoff push, to stack talent that can thrive, not just survive, in the postseason. Higbee's body can't be trusted anymore. His ceiling is lower than ever, and his injury history makes him a ticking time bomb. If Greer trades for him, it would show once again how little he understands about long-term roster construction and real competitive windows. Which brings us to the elephant in the room, Chris Greer himself. For all the criticism he's received, and let's be honest, it's been well-earned, the current tight end situation might be one of the more glaring examples of his inability to plan effectively. You let Jonnu Smith go, replace him with a retired Darren Waller, and then, what? Hope that some combination of rookies and unproven depth can hold up through a 17-game grind? That's not strategy. That's desperation. And Dolphins fans are sick of watching this team fall just short year after year because of mistakes at the front office level. So the message is loud and clear. If Greer is still serious about contending, and if he wants to prove he belongs in that GM chair even one day longer, he needs to get proactive. Call Tennessee. Call Vegas. Push again on the Bears. Do something, because this team